Hello and welcome to TNI. In this video program, we are going to talk about maintenance. Now, I know that everybody sitting in this orientation classroom today is a professional truck driver. You have experience, 2+ years in fact. So I'm not here to talk about what maintenance is and how trucks operate. What I'm here to talk about is how TNI works maintenance with you, the driver, and what your responsibilities are, along with what you can do and can't do. It's going to be a very short video, so we should have this over in just a few minutes. First of all, TNI operates out of 10 facilities nationwide. The first one is Earth City, Missouri, which is the corporate office, a St. Louis suburb. The second one, Charleston, Missouri, about 150 miles south of St. Louis. Lebanon, Missouri, which is over on Interstate 44, just about 60 miles or so east of Springfield, Missouri. Napoleon, Ohio, which is up in the northeast corner, just south of Detroit. Bryant, Arkansas, which is also a suburb of Little Rock, Arkansas. Texarkana, Texas, that's right, on the Texas side. San Antonio, Texas, which is on the south side of San Antonio. Then we have Laredo, Texas, which is on the north side of Laredo at exit 13. For those of you that's been there, you know where that exit's at. Pharr, Texas, which is where Edinburgh and McAllen area are located, right off of 281. And the last is Del Rio, Texas, approximately 150 miles or so due west of San Antonio. Now, why do I mention all these terminals? Because I mentioned them a couple times in other videos, so that you understand there's a shop facility at each one of these locations. And these shops are equipped to take care of your maintenance needs for the most part. Now, understand something. Two things I don't do during training programs. I don't mention people's names, and I don't mention hours of operation with locations. All the satellite terminals have different hours of operation. They're available for you 24/7. You can go in the yard, go in the driver's lounge, take care of business, whatever the case may be, do your laundry, take showers at some of them, and so forth. But that doesn't necessarily mean the shops are open 24 hours a day. So it's up to you to talk to the facilities and talk to corporate at the road breakdown department to find out when this particular facility will be open, when you decide you're going to go through there, or you need to go through there to take care of a certain item. Now, one thing that I want to point out is that all the late model trucks these days take diesel exhaust fluid, known as DEF. At each one of these 10 facilities, they offer DEF for all the trucks. Again, it may not be available 24 hours a day, so it's up to you to talk to road breakdown or your supervisor or your fleet manager or the terminal manager to find out what those hours of operations are for those particular terminals. All right, so what do we want to talk about? Let's talk about a good pre-trip inspection. That's the first thing you need to do on every trip and every tractor and trailer that you hook up to. A good pre-trip inspection can solve a lot of problems. They can keep you from getting broke down on the side of the road. They can let you see things before they happen. You can take care of issues before you leave the terminal. Your trip is only as good as your pre-trip as far as maintenance is concerned, so it's important that you do a pre-trip and a post-trip when you end your trip to write the truck up for any issues that it might have to that particular shop. They can take care of before the next driver gets it. Now, one thing that's available on the late model Volvo trucks that TNI has is something called a pre-trip assist. Now, on the brand new trucks that TNI has, you can access the pre-trip assist on your digital display on the dash from the controls on your steering wheel. However, the trucks that are a couple years old, going back to 3 years old, those items, or I should say that screen, is accessible through the turn signal and the arm control on your steering column. Now, I don't want to get in to teach you how to use all of that because it's very simple. When you get in a truck, that digital display will automatically pop up. You'll figure out how to access it. There are lots of screens available on there that tell you lots of good information about your tractor, including codes if there's a problem. Again, I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is you as a driver and what your responsibilities are. Make sure you check your truck out too for a proper PM inspection sticker. There's one on a tractor and there's one on the trailer. Before you leave, see that your PM sticker is up to date and your tractor has had the proper PM at the proper time frame. If it hasn't, then get with the shop or the terminal manager to see if that can be either worked in now You can do it when you come back, or it could be done at another terminal on your way with the next trip. Those are real important if you get into a scale house and the DOT decides to go over you with a fine-tooth comb. So you might want to watch that. You know, you're a truck driver. You're not a mechanic, and I'm probably being a little simplified here, but let's understand what you can and can't do. You might as well just leave your tools at home. The only thing you really need to keep with you is maybe a pair of pliers, a crescent wrench, a couple screwdrivers, things that you can change a fuse, change a light bulb, the minor things that you can do. All these trucks that TNI owns are under warranty, and they're under warranty until the day they're traded or sold off. Pretty much the entire cab. And that's not a joke. So we ask that you stay out of the engine, stay out of the transmission, stay out of the rear end, stay out of the electrical systems completely. If you have something that you want wired into your truck or something you feel is necessary, talk to the shop about it. If they can't do it, then that means it's probably not going to be authorized, because all of our trucks have good driver amenities. All the late model trucks have refrigerators. They have outlets for AC to plug certain things in for your inverter. A lot of the newer tractors have the USB plugs to charge your phone and other accessories you might have. Lots of lighting. In fact, the newer trucks are quite a bit larger than the older trucks. They also have refrigerators. So that brings me to my next point. When you turn your truck in and clean it out, and you're going to be home for a few days, clean the truck out, please. Take your trash out, take your garbage out, sweep the floors out, and most of all, clean out that refrigerator, because we don't want stuff growing in there in a petri dish for the next driver to find, or maybe for you to find when you get in the next truck. Take time to clean your truck up and be courteous for the next driver. It's very important. If you do find a truck that you've been assigned that has not been cleaned up, make sure you get with your terminal manager immediately so that can be taken care of, and they can address that to the driver that left it that way. Let's talk about additives for a moment. Every truck stop sells additives of all kinds, fuel additives, oil additives, everything in the world. Please do not add additives to your tractor at all, oil or fuel. If it needs it, road breakdown or maintenance will authorize it on the road, or they'll take care of it at a terminal. But don't be buying and adding additives into your fuel or oil during your trip at all. That could, in fact, far-fetched, but it could void the entire warranty on that engine or transmission. So leave the additives alone. You know, if you break down going down the highway, there's several things you could have happen. There are several things that could take place, but the first thing you want to try to do is to pull off to the safest spot possible, as far off of the highway or interstate as possible. Park your truck, turn on your flashers, put out your reflectors in accordance with DOT, and then gather the information as to what the problem was and communicate with road breakdown so that they can decide what has to be done next. Not you. Not you. Don't try to repair a truck sitting on the side of the road. If you got a flat tire, a blowout, your engine died, whatever the case may be, let's get authorized personnel to handle this and get them out there to take care of the problem. Leave your tools at home. All right, what else I want to talk about? Well, you know, all of our terminals are accessible 24 hours a day. The driver's lounges are accessible 24 hours a day, but the shops are not. Again, I want to restate what I did in the very beginning. Communicate and find out when they're open if you need DEF. Try to get your DEF filled up at every facility within the company. Not to a point to where, oh, I forgot to get DEF, I need to buy it on the road. Now you got to call into road breakdown. Now they have to turn your card on and they have to authorize it, and you go to a truck stop and you buy it at 2 or 3 times the price that TNI pays for it. It's not wise. Not only that, you might pick up contaminants in the DEF that could easily contaminate the engine or the fuel system. So try to fill your tank up with DEF every time you go through a facility. It just takes a few minutes to stop and top one off. Now, what have we covered in the last few minutes? We've talked about the fact that TNI has 10 facilities, and one thing I didn't point out. Earth City, which is the corporate office, is available 24 hours a day, around the clock. During the daytime, you can reach your fleet manager, you can reach customer service, you're going to take your dispatch, you can talk to road breakdown, you can talk to maintenance. But at nighttime, you're thinking, oh, now what do I do? Call in, they're still there. Not the same guys, of course, but there's different staff, and they're available 24 hours a day to help you on the road. But emergencies do crop up. I'll be the first to tell you, they do pop up constantly. And when they do, that's what they're there for in the nighttime, is to help you. Don't just think, well, you know what, I'll just park here in the morning and talk to my fleet manager tomorrow. No, 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 no. First of all, you're going to mess with your hours of service, and I don't even want to talk about that. So you need to get a hold of the right people, and let's get the problem resolved. The whole idea behind this is one thing only. Well, no, I should say two things. One, so that you can make a good living for you and your family. And number two, you can deliver that load of freight you've got to your customer on time, safely. That's about as quick a video as I can think of to talk about maintenance. We'll cover the fuel card, the advances, all the operational stuff in other videos. Have a safe trip, guys.